Hey, how's it going? As you may already know, my name is Jacob Francois, a photographer currently living in the Philadelphia area. Today's video is all around the Leica M10-P. The reason why I'm talking about this now is because in my last video I talked about this photo that basically made me roughly around $5,000 in revenue this year, and that was taken with a Leica M10-P. Unfortunately, I can't enter any B-roll here because I no longer own that camera, but it is amazing. It looks like every other M10 camera, so you could just, look it up. Regardless. So that camera I owned, or I purchased it in October 11th of 2020. So it was my first Leica, I believe. Actually, my first Leica was I think a deluxe. When I was just getting into photography, I think at that point I was using a Canon camera and I wanted something smaller, something point and shoot just to carry around. And I think I bought a deluxe, don't know which version, from B&H. Obviously no longer have that camera. I think I sold that camera within 4 or 5 months of owning it because didn't it just wasn't for me at that time. Now that I think about it, I probably should have kept that camera because I probably could have used it in this particular moment. But regardless, so the Leica M10-P. I purchased it in late October from Adorama. At that time, I had owned a Fujifilm GFX 50R, and I had the opportunity to trade that in and pay a difference. I think the difference was maybe around $1,000 at the time to get that camera. I believe the Leica M10-P was announced at some point in 2018. So at the time when I purchased it, it was roughly around 2 years old. I think the Leica M10R and the Leica M10 monochrome was already released at the time. So I was able to get it for a good deal. That's why I was only able to, or only needed to trade in my GFX and pay roughly a difference of $1,000 or $1,500. Regardless, that camera, it was amazing. I do wish I have never sold that camera. That is another video coming up soon, but let's stick to this topic. The Leica M10-P. I shot roughly 14,000 photos with that one camera. That camera was purchased when I was living in Harlem in New York City. Then it moved with me to Stamford, Connecticut. Why did I move to Stamford, Connecticut? That might be a whole different topic, but we're not going to get there today. And then to my move to the Philadelphia area. I sold it sometime late last year to upgrade to other versions of the Leica M10 family. And boy, do I miss that camera. I won't bore you with the specs on that camera because of course you could look it up. Of course, it's also now I think a 6-7-year-old camera, so you could just Google the camera and you could find all the specs. I don't really care about specs. But the Leica M10-P was my daily carry for at least 3 years. Mind you, at this time, I also played around with the Leica Q system and I also owned the Leica SL system. But during all the months and days and years and the moves that I've did, that camera was the camera that I brought everywhere. During that time, of course, it was in towards the mid-end part of COVID. So I didn't travel too much with the camera, but I believe if my memory serves me well, I was able to take it to California, Florida, maybe. So I guess this video is really about paying homage to such a great camera that I use so often. Like I said, 13,000 images. Of course, that isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. I do know my Canon 5D Mark II, I probably had more photos with that camera, but I also own that camera for almost twice the amount of time, if not 3 times the amount of time. I don't remember when that camera came out. But to had made 13,000 plus photos on this camera that, you know, is almost the size of a iPhone when you really think about it before you actually, you know, add a lens to it. Um, is quite amazing. So this video is honestly just to pay homage to that camera. So enjoy the photos that I've taken throughout the years with that camera. And we'll talk soon. Peace. Also, like and subscribe, maybe? Cool.